How okay. Have you ever had someone push you so far that you almost forgot who you were? The kind of person who tests your patience every single day, until one morning, you realize you're done being the nice neighbor. Well, that's exactly what happened to me. My name's Daniel, and this is the story of how one woman, a self-proclaimed Karen, of our street, turned my quiet life upside down. But when I finally stood up for myself, she didn't just lose her parking spot, she lost her pride. It all started on a gray Monday morning, the kind of morning where the sky looks as tired as you feel. I was running late for work, juggling a thermos of lukewarm coffee in my laptop bag, when I stepped outside, only to find her car blocking my driveway. Again. There it was, a shiny white SUV with pink seat covers and a bumper sticker that read, "Queen of Everything." The irony would have made me laugh if I hadn't been so furious. Believable, I muttered, setting down my coffee on the hood of my own car. I'd already talked to her twice about this. Politely, too. The first time, she'd apologized sweetly and promised it wouldn't happen again. The second time, she'd just shrugged, saying, "It's just for a minute." But her minute always turned into hours. I knocked on her door that morning, my jaw clenched tight. She opened it wearing her fluffy robe, holding a steaming mug, looking like she didn't have a care in the world. "Oh, Daniel," she said, her tone sugary enough to rot teeth. "You're heading out early again?" I was just running in to grab something real quick. "Karen, you've been parked there for nearly an hour," I said, trying to keep my voice even. "I told you before I need to leave for work. You can't keep doing this." She blinked at me as if I'd just insulted her royal status. "It's just a driveway," she said, laughing lightly. "You have plenty of space. Why are you being so dramatic?" My patience snapped a little that morning. "It's my driveway," I said firmly. "And you can't keep using it like your personal parking spot. Please move your car." Her smile vanished. "You don't have to be rude," she snapped, slamming her mug down on the porch railing. "I've lived here longer than you. Everyone around here knows I use that spot sometimes. Nobody else complains." I wanted to scream, but instead, I just turned around and walked away. Because that's what I did back then. I avoided confrontation. I told myself it wasn't worth it. That maybe she'd finally stop if I didn't give her a reaction. But she didn't stop. Over the next few weeks, it became a daily routine. Sometimes she'd leave her car there overnight. Once, she even blocked me in when I had to rush to the hospital after my father had a heart scare. That night, something in me changed. I remember sitting there, trapped behind her car, fists shaking on the steering wheel, realizing how helpless I felt. Not because of the situation, but because I'd allowed it to go on for too long. The next morning, I left her a note. It was polite, carefully worded, and taped to her windshield. "Please stop parking in my driveway. This is your final warning before I take action." She didn't just ignore it. She laughed about it. I saw her showing the note to another neighbor, giggling like a teenager. That's when I knew kindness wasn't going to work anymore. A week later, I started researching automatic boom gates, the kind used in parking lots and private properties, the ones that made it crystal clear who was allowed in and who wasn't. I spent hours watching installation videos, reading reviews, even calling a local technician for a quote. And the day it arrived, that sturdy, metallic arm of justice, I felt something I hadn't felt in months. Peace. I installed it quietly one Saturday morning. The neighbors watched curiously, some even clapping when they realized what it was. I could see Karen from across the street, her arms crossed, lips tight, pretending not to care. But I knew. Oh, I knew. The moment she'd try to park there again, everything would change. What I didn't realize then was how far she'd go once she felt humiliated. Because for people like Karen, losing control wasn't an option. And when she finally confronted me, it wasn't just about a driveway anymore. It was about pride, boundaries, and the moment I stopped being invisible. The following Monday morning was calm, eerily calm. Birds chirped on the power lines, the sun warmed the pavement, and for the first time in weeks, my driveway was blissfully empty. The new automatic boom gate gleamed in the morning light, like a silent guard that had finally brought peace to my little corner of the world. I stood by my car with my coffee, smiling to myself. It felt strange, empowering even, to reclaim something that had been mine all along. But deep down, I knew this calm wouldn't last. At 80:15 sharp, the familiar growl of Karen's SUV echoed down the street. I didn't even have to look, I could recognize that engine anywhere. She pulled up right in front of my house and stopped, staring at the gate like it was a personal insult. I watched her from my window as she got out, still wearing her oversized sunglasses and clutching a latte. She placed a hand on her hip and tilted her head, the classic Karen stance of disapproval. Then, she walked right up to the gate, examining it like she was inspecting a crime scene. "What in the world is this?" she called out. I opened my door, pretending to be casual. "Good morning, Karen. That's an automatic boom gate. Keeps my driveway private, like it's supposed to be." Her jaw dropped. "You can't just block the street like this." "I didn't," I said calmly. "The street's open. My driveway isn't." "Big difference," she scoffed. "This is ridiculous. You're acting like I've done something terrible. It's just parking." I stepped closer, keeping my voice steady. "It's not about parking, Karen. It's about respect. I've asked you, politely, over and over again. You ignored me, so I did what I had to do." For a moment, she said nothing. Then her tone changed, quieter, colder. "You're making this neighborhood unfriendly, Daniel. People talk, you know." I shrugged. "Let them. I'd rather be known as the guy with boundaries than the guy who gets walked all over." She rolled her eyes dramatically and stormed off, muttering something under her breath. I thought that was the end of it. I really did. But later that evening, when I came home from work, I found a note taped to the gate, written in angry, looping handwriting. "You're being petty. This community used to be friendly until you came along. I hope you're happy isolating yourself." I sighed, crumpled it up, and tossed it in the bin. I wasn't going to let her get under my skin again. But part of me still felt that sting. Not because of what she said, but because a small piece of me still wished we could have been decent neighbors. A few days passed without incident. The boom gate worked perfectly. Quiet, firm, reliable. It lifted when I pressed the remote, then lowered with a soft click. Every morning, I'd glance out the window and feel a little more at peace. Then one Friday afternoon, I came home early and caught her red-handed. Karen was standing by the gate, arguing with a delivery driver who had parked partially across her lawn. She was waving her arms, shouting about unfair property lines and community respect. The irony nearly made me laugh out loud. When she saw me pull up, her face changed, embarrassment, then defiance. "Oh, look who's home," she said bitterly. "Your little robot arm keeping you safe, huh?" "Safer than leaving my driveway open," I replied, trying to keep my tone light. She folded her arms. "You think you're so clever, don't you? Making a big statement with your metal stick." I took a slow breath. "Karen, I don't want to fight, I just want peace." Something in my tone must have caught her off guard because she paused. Her voice softened, just a bit. "Peace, huh? You think this is peaceful? Everyone thinks you're overreacting. It's just a driveway." I met her eyes. "No, Karen, it's never just about the driveway. It's about all the times people decide their convenience is worth more than someone else's comfort. I let it go for too long. That's on me. But not anymore." For the first time, she didn't have a quick comeback. She looked away, jaw tight, then muttered, "Whatever," and walked off. But there was something different in her walk. Slower. Heavier, as if a part of her knew I wasn't the villain she'd made me out to be. A week later, something unexpected happened. I was out front watering my small garden when Karen approached, not with her usual swagger, but cautiously, like someone stepping into unfamiliar territory. She was holding a plate covered in foil. "Hey," she said almost shyly. "I made some cookies. Thought you might want some." I blinked. "Cookies?"
She nodded.
"Yeah, I guess I overstepped. I didn't realize how much it was bothering you. I'm sorry." For a moment, I didn't know what to say. The woman who'd mocked me, who'd made my mornings miserable, was now apologizing. Genuinely, I smiled, taking the plate. "Thank you, Karen. I appreciate that." She sighed, rubbing her arm awkwardly. "That gait of yours, it's actually kind of impressive." I thought it was petty at first, but maybe I needed a wake-up call. We both laughed softly. For the first time, it didn't feel like a battle. It felt like understanding. From that day on, she never parked in my driveway again. In fact, she even started waving when she passed by. The tension that had clouded our little street lifted, replaced by something lighter. Mutual respect. Looking back now, I realized that the gate wasn't really about blocking someone out. It was about drawing a line that said, "I matter, too." Sometimes standing up for yourself doesn't mean fighting, it means quietly protecting your peace. And funny enough, once you do that, the world starts treating you the way you should have been treated all along. As for Karen, she never became my best friend, but she became something better. A reminder that even the most difficult people can change when you refuse to let them walk all over you. And every time that boom gate lifts to let me through, I can't help but smile, not out of spite, but out of pride. Because that gate isn't just metal and motors. It's a symbol of the day I finally stopped being invisible and started standing tall.